Tyreek Hill is having an absolutely historic season, and the numbers so far just speak for himself. He's only played at this point 8 games. And he has 1,008 yards. He already has over 1,000 yards already, which is just on pace to be the first receiver ever to get 2,000 yards in a season, which is just even crazy to think about. But if you think about it, he's not even halfway through. There's 17 games in an NFL season now. The record all time is Megatron has it, set it back in 2012. It's like 19,000, like 1,900 and like 500, something like that, yards. There's only been 6 players in history to get over the 1,800 mark. It's looking to me like he's going to shatter this record. He's going to be the first 2,000-yard receiver unless something drastic were to happen. Because through 8 games, it just looks clear. And that's exactly what Miami wanted to do. That's exactly why that roster was put together in Miami. They put together a bunch of speedsters. They took the top-end speed guys that had the fastest burst. Tyreek Hill, fastest player in the league. Raheem Mostert, one of the fastest running backs in the league. The guy they drafted, A-Chain, very quick breakaway speed back. Waddle, deep threat guy, fast receiver. It's what they wanted to do. They did exactly what they wanted to do. But Tyreek Hill has just shown up. And, the biggest question was going to be, was his production still going to be as good when he didn't have Patrick Mahomes throwing him the ball? The question is, it's even better. It is even better. He looks like a better receiver. Although he still put up somewhat Hall of Fame stats in Kansas City, he looks like a better receiver in Miami. Before this year started, I thought he was like maybe the 4th best receiver in the NFL, maybe the 5th. He jumped all the way up to 2 on my list just because you can't ignore what he's done. You cannot sit down and ignore what he's done in these 8 games. It is nothing short of ridiculous. He's outrunning people. He's just the impact. It's as if he's worth like a touchdown a game, which is usually the only position that's worth somewhat of points in a game is a quarterback. But Tyreek Hill automatically, I feel like he's worth 7 points in a game as a receiver. It's crazy. It's he puts up points. He's number 1 in fantasy across the board, number 1 wide receiver, number 1 overall player. Like I said, 1,008 yards through 8 games. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, I think he's going to shatter it. I think he gets 2,200 is what I think, or at least 2,100. But I think he gets this record barring an injury, of course, because he's destroying defenses. He was only humbled in 1 game, I'm pretty sure. Other than that, he has just had a ridiculous stretch, a ridiculous season. It's been ridiculous at times, absolutely ridiculous at times. He's on pace for 147 catches. He's on pace for 2,100 yards. Some of this stuff, some of these numbers are absolutely ridiculous through this stretch, and we'll see if he can continue. And he's got 1,014. He's got 1,014 yards, actually, even more than I thought. But his pace right now is it's ridiculous, and you could see it too. It's not like he's just a stat pattern. He's putting up these stats. He's having a ridiculous year. It's crazy the kind of year he's having. He's got 8 touchdowns on the season. It's just he's just having a ridiculous year. I think he could be an outside MVP guy. If he gets the 2,000 yards, he should without a doubt win the MVP. And I don't think a receiver's won it since Keyshawn Johnson, and that was a long time ago. That was like early 2000s and 90s. So it'd be ridiculous. But if he puts up the 2,000 yards, they're going to have no choice but to give it to him. And he would deserve it if he got to it, and I think he will. There's a chance he could still stub him for the MVP. It'd be ridiculous if he did. But I think he gets that 2,000 yards.